Financial minimalism is an approach that aims to simplify money management by eliminating the unnecessary to focus on what truly matters. It's not just about spending less, but spending smarter with more awareness. And this philosophy covers all aspects of financial management, not just spending. The goal is certainly to improve your financial situation, but also to reduce the stress associated with money management and to align every financial decision with your values and goals. Personally, I am very fascinated by minimalism and I strive to apply it not only to my finances but also to other aspects of my lifestyle. I can tell you that since I started adopting this philosophy, my life has changed for the better. In this video, I will share with you the 7 fundamental rules of financial minimalism that have made a difference for me and that I'm sure could make a difference also for you. So let's get started. Having clear goals. The first rule of financial minimalism is to have clear goals. Without goals, you're essentially going nowhere. You risk wasting energy and resources in a disorganized way, never truly achieving what you desire. An ambitious goal could be achieving complete financial freedom, meaning the ability to live off the returns from your investments portfolio. However, this isn't an easy goal to reach and requires very precise planning. In my video about my FIRE journey as a European, I discuss how this journey is going in my case, because I'm actually trying to achieve full financial freedom. And if you didn't watch the video yet, I encourage you to check it out. That said, living off your investments is just one of the possible financial goals that you could have. Unfortunately, it's not the only one. You could also aim to accumulate enough money to secure an additional income for your future, to supplement your retirement pension, for example. But your goal might be as well to save for buying your dream home, for example, or simply for taking the trip you've been dreaming about for a long time. The important thing is to have a clear idea of what you really want, making sure that this desire isn't something external, imposed by society or by people around you, but rather something authentic that will really make you happy once it's achieved. Reducing unnecessary expenses. The second rule of financial minimalism, and perhaps the most well-known aspect of this movement, is reducing unnecessary expenses. But what does this actually mean in practice? First of all, there is no clear-cut category that defines unnecessary expenses. What's unnecessary for me might be, for example, necessary for you, and vice versa, something that seems frivolous to you might be essential for me. So the first step is to reflect on yourself and identify what truly matters and what doesn't. Often we make impulsive purchases almost automatically, filling our wardrobes and homes with items we don't really need, while draining our bank accounts. And if you really think about it, these accumulated objects rarely add any real value to our lives. So here are some key questions to help you determine whether an expense is unnecessary. Do I really need this? Do I already own something similar? Is this an impulsive or planned purchase? Is this a real need of mine or something influenced by external pressures? Do I think this will truly make me happy or not particularly? Will this expense bring me closer or take me farther away from my financial goals? The idea is to develop greater awareness of what you spend and why you spend it. Ideally, this should lead to making fewer but higher quality purchases. Having a high savings rate. A direct consequence of spending less is increasing your savings rate, which is one of the core principles of the minimalist approach to finances. The more you can increase the percentage of your income that you save each month, the more financially secure you will be. You'll find yourself in a much stronger and less stressful position. Living paycheck to paycheck, where your earnings barely cover your basic needs, significantly increase daily stress. At the first unexpected expense, you could end up in a very difficult situation. On the other hand, with a high savings rate, you'll be able to set aside significant funds for your financial goals and also reduce the number of years you'll need to work if you're trying to achieve financial freedom. In fact, you might reach a point where your savings will be almost enough to allow you to retire. In my point of view, a minimum savings rate to feel secure is 20%. Of course, the higher you can make it, the better, but I believe that with some effort, achieving a 20% savings rate is a realistic goal for anyone. For example, my savings rate at the moment, as I showed in my previous videos, it's around 60%. Having an emergency fund. Whether you want to embrace minimalism or not, one essential step for your finances is to build an emergency fund. This should be a priority for anyone who wants to sleep well and handle life's unexpected challenges with ease. An emergency fund is a sum of money you set aside, ideally equal to at least 6 months of essential expenses, and its purpose is to protect you from unexpected events, changes, or even significant disruptions like losing your job. Having an emergency fund reduces the stress of unexpected situations and allows you to focus on what truly matters. Knowing you have a backup frees you from anxiety and enables you to make better financial decisions that are more aligned with your long-term goals. This money should be kept liquid and always ready to use, otherwise it cannot be considered an emergency fund. However, you can still earn a return on this money if, for example, you keep it in an account or with a broker that offers interest on the liquidity. Passive investment. Financial minimalism also encourages a passive and simple approach to investing, avoiding complex or stressful strategies. This means saying no to practices like short-term trading or trying to beat the market. Activities that not only require a lot of time and energy, but that statistically tend to fail for most investors. The idea is to build a simple investment portfolio, free from unnecessary complexity, and based on efficient, low-cost financial instruments like index funds and ETFs. With a passive investment approach, you don't need to constantly monitor the market or try to predict the future. You simply invest regularly and let compound interest work in your favor. Historically, the overall stock market has delivered a return close to 10% annually. This way you avoid emotional stress, but also possible mistakes and unnecessary commissions. At the same time, you have greater predictability of your portfolio returns and better protection of your wealth. Avoiding bad debt. Another key rule of financial minimalism is to avoid bad debt, which is the type of debt that adds no real value to your life and often just ends up complicating your financial situation. Bad debt includes loans for non-essential consumer goods such as tech gadgets, vacations, or trendy clothing, as well as debts accumulated through credit cards with high interest rates. These expenses not only erode your future income, but trap you in a vicious cycle of payments that can be really difficult to escape. Financial minimalism encourages you to think carefully before making any purchase on credit, and possibly to wait until you have enough money to buy it without taking out a loan. However, not all debt should be avoided. For example, it could make sense to take out a mortgage to buy a home or a loan for something necessary for you, as long as the terms are favorable and it helps you avoid selling investments, for example. In any case, remember that the less debt you have, the more peace of mind you gain. This mental peace often goes beyond the financial aspect, improving the overall quality of your life. Simplifying your accounts. Finally, another important aspect of financial minimalism is simplifying the number of bank accounts, platforms, brokers, and financial instruments you use. Complexity is the enemy of minimalism because it adds unnecessary stress. It's better to have a few reliable platforms and a small number of quality financial instruments to invest in. Otherwise, it becomes hard to track your money and asset allocation. Personally, I admit I still struggle with this, as I keep my money across multiple platforms and I have too many ETFs and financial instruments at the moment. In the future, I hope I will be able to simplify this because excessive fragmentation doesn't add any value to my life. This actually is a common mistake when you start investing. You buy too many ETFs, try out too many platforms, and then you find yourself in a tricky situation because selling or moving assets come with tax implications or other kind of complications. So if you are just starting, I recommend you choosing a simple investment strategy and not opening too many accounts. You might regret it later when you become more experienced. Okay, these were the 7 key rules of financial minimalism. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you liked the video, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. You can also check my other videos where I share my journey with investing and minimalism. I hope you enjoyed and see you soon.